Alrighty, we are go. Revan's Apprentice back here. Thought I'd go ahead and just play some Star Wars The Old Republic and, yeah, just chill out a little bit. Talk about the channel a little more and, kind of try and focus on some other things to, you know, just put thoughts out there and see, just put thoughts out there. I'll let the game load. This is also to test the audio quality a bit, kind of still messing around with that. Ah, there we go. As you can see, I've played this game at least quite a bit, actually. I actually got all the maxed out artifice and all that stuff going on here. Star Wars The Old Republic is a very good game. I don't like what they did to Revan, but it's still a good game. Let's go ahead and just play through a flashpoint. I don't play it. I'm not that good at the game. I've played a tank, I've played World of Warcraft, I used to be into the whole raiding scene. I'm not nearly that good anymore. I'm more of a, yeah, I can tank, but I'm not learning all the mechanics, and I'm not gonna religiously go through every walkthrough on a boss now. I did that. Was a raid leader for about 3 or 4 years. Yeah, that stuff could suck your soul out. Alright, probably going to be a little bit before I get to a group, even though people need tanks right now. Also pointing this out here to see what kind of traffic a SWTOR video is going to bring out there. See if people want to just have me run through the storylines of each of the character classes. And as you can see, I have the Revan Reborn set. I actually spent some money on this game. That's how much I supported story. It's a really well put together game. I don't like all the paywalls, but for what it is, spending about, let's say, $70, it was worth my time. It was worth as much as a $60 story-based game. After that, well, we'll see. Not too happy about what their updates are and where the story is stopped. Like, I've played all the way through Knights of the Fallen Empire. And that was actually pretty good. I actually respect Valkorion a lot. Let's see now. I usually get into an instance by now. Just a slower day on the servers, I suppose. Well, while I've got a few minutes. All right. Sorry, I got my cat over here. I know you're starved for attention, you poor thing. Well, I've got the time. Probably just go over some D&D stuff. I've actually started to think of a good format. I hate to take inspiration or, outright steal a format from another YouTuber, but one of my biggest influences was Spoonie. Like, listening to that man's D&D rants and how his stories went, very entertaining, very enjoyable to me. Actually impacts a lot of how I play D&D now. Like, he taught me don't fudge rolls a lot. Just let the dice fall where they are. That's one of the things you'll learn, just basics in D&D when you DM. Sometimes you fudge dice rolls just so they don't immediately, get ganked by like a low-level orc. As funny as it is to die to a single orc, it's not the most heroic death. You kind of want a character death to be a little more heroic than you got taken out by grunt number 2 over there. You'd want to go out like one of the poor SOBs in my AL game that I ran about a week or 2 ago. Turns out, you don't want to chop off the Hydra's heads. If you've ever seen a Hydra or watched the movie Hercules, the Disney one, don't chop off Hydra heads. They start to bite back really quickly. Guy got killed by taking 7 Hydra heads at a D10 plus 5 each. Yeah. Notably, I killed that character, but he had a good time. He got taken out by a friggin' Hydra. It's better than going out by an orc's axe. A little more heroic. Alright, that group fighter's a lot slower today. Interesting. That gives me more time to ramble on about just random things at this point. If you're wondering why I'm just putting out videos, I need to start doing videos and putting content out. At least that's how I feel about it. I mean, if I'm going to put a real try into this YouTube thing, may as well put a good old college try into it. And like I said, to anyone who views this, comment, like, leave me feedback, that way I can make these more entertaining. Because I can't improve if I don't get feedback and criticism. It's actually funny these days. Everyone's so afraid to take criticism. I encourage it because I do a lot of stupid things. My first 2 videos, who needs Google search? I know what I'm doing, right? Oh, hey, cat. Yes, I do have cats, so sometimes they come up for attention. They're not too big a deal. Usually just sits on my lap. I got a guild question going there. I am not the master of this game. I've played it for about a month and a half, 2 months now at best. Yeah. I may have known that back when I played Lord of the Rings Online. Still have that lifetime account. May come back to it one point or another, but my raiding guild is long dead in that game. Alright, this is getting real interesting, huh? Well, if I need to, I'll just go ahead and do the star battle one too. I'm pretty bad at the star battles, but you know, I may as well have something on here instead of, you know, my character sitting around looking awesome. And the Jedi Guardian story, or the Jedi Knight story, fantastic. I would suggest playing that. Okay. Yeah, from what I've learned of the Jedi Guardian in this game is, you're going to rely on a lot of these cooldowns here to keep you alive. For anyone not familiar with MMO speak, cooldowns are usually minute, 2-minute skills that really mitigate your damage. Like, let's say, oh, I'm taking 25 to 50% less damage Now for about 12 seconds, that's enough to let the healer keep me up. 12 seconds may seem insignificant until you realize you're taking millions of points of damage. Is it millions or thousands? Looks like thousands in this one. Oh, come on now, I need to show some content for the people. Just pop up the queue. Perhaps I should have started the video when I got a queue started. Eh. Anyway, as we're going on in this whole YouTube venture, one of the things I want to focus on next is either an introduction to Adventures League 5th Edition, Shadowrun, or Edge of the Empire. A lot of times I want to try 5th Edition Adventures League, mostly because I have a lot of opinions, good and bad, about it. Adventures League is good for beginning, just getting into D&D and running modules. It's very good for that. It's very good for a community play. For veterans like me who start to get a little constricted by it, because it's organized play. In organized play, you have to adhere to a certain type of rule, and you can't give out extra, awesome items. You can't. How do I say this? You can't make something more challenging or add monsters into encounter, even though it would make more sense, just considering party level and yeah. I will say the books run at Adventures League, like all the Out of the Abyss, the books being the story books they give out for every season. Like Season 1 was Horde of the Dragon Queen, like more of the dragon cultists. Dragon cultists are trying to take over Faerun. Faerun being the setting that all of D&D is for 5th edition for this one. I believe the second one was Elemental Evil, Elemental cults trying to take over. Out of the Abyss, demons trying to take over. Going on from there, I believe it was Curse of Strahd, my personal favorite book. Storm King's Thunder, giants are trying to take over. I'll go more in depth on Strahd, because you can't just sum up Strahd and Barovia in a few sentences. That's going to take some time. Season 6 was a bunch of rehashed modules from back in the day, like dungeons that were known to murder you, like the Tomb of Horrors, the #1 joke module where if you walked into it, you were dead. Like, it was a meat grinder. You would have a stack of character sheets to go through that. And the recent season, which is Tomb of Annihilation, which I myself have enjoyed because something called the Death Curse. The Death Curse actually makes you care about your character's actions, because normally, levels 1 through 4, if you die, your faction will just bring you back to life. Death doesn't seem to have much consequence till level 5. And even then, you'll start having enough gold just to resurrect yourself, and again, here's my problems with Adventures League. You start running into a problem where things are far too easy. You're not really in mortal danger. Not unless your DM's actually running it straight. And they are actually trying to, how do we say? They're actually trying to make D&D have consequences. Like, if you're gonna get killed, you get killed. You don't just get a resurrection, you don't just get away from... You don't just get to die and come back. The seasons we're in currently brought in the death curse, where if you die at any point, there is no revivify, there is no coming back to life. Once you're dead, you stay dead, which is how it should be. You don't just get to revive yourself whenever you feel like it. You can't just have the cleric bring you back from the brink of death. Kinda lessens the whole, oh, hey, I died. Crap. Maybe I should think before I leap into the next encounter. Maybe I should check for traps. That entire thing. Yeah, this is probably going to be a whole episode of me just ranting on while waiting for a damn cue to pop. But as you can see, all of the seasons have something unique to them. I don't know what the next season is going to be, and I'm very, very curious. I hope it's to be Planescape. Planescape being where... excuse me. Planescape is where all of the heavens, hells, all of that can join into one plane of existence, called Sigil. Which is a very interesting thing to tell you, so angels, demons, devils, all of these things just come to one place to actually congregate and talk. And you can have the most interesting adventures just from that setup. Back to the pros and cons of Adventures League. I've already gone over the pros of you can jump into any game you want as long as you sign up for it. You can get a character, learn the ropes. Most of the times you don't even have to buy the book. They have pre-made character sheets just so you can get started. It's very good for newcomers. That is my favorite part of AL, is it makes D&D accessible. Now for the con part of it, creativity is stifled and restricted. Everything you do is either going to be... Let me set this up into a more put together. When you make a character, you are limited to only do the point-buy system. This is to stop people rolling ridiculous characters like someone who has an 18 in everything. Which I can understand. There's always that one jackass who tries to say, yeah, I rolled 4d6 and got 6 straight 18s. Totally didn't cheat. Yeah, no, don't play that game. And for that purpose, I can see that. Most times, roll the dice in front of your DM. Don't be a dick. That's what I would say for that one. But for AL, you're kind of like you don't have a straight DM always DMing for you. And if you ever can, try the 4d6 in order. It will give you interesting character concepts. Having a 3 wisdom character could be very entertaining to play. It may not always have the best results. You may do something incredibly stupid. But it's interesting. The second part is the DMs are restricted to what the modules say. What do I mean by this? If the module says there's only a Hydra and a Water Weird, there is only a Hydra and a Water Weird. The only time you can actually up this is if the party is high enough to actually take on something more powerful. Like, if I see a twinked out party, I am very tempted to be like, alright, here come the Mind Flayers, or here comes, a setting appropriate monster. And even then, it's actually seen as uncouth to do so, even though it does bring a challenge to the party. Most times, if I'm setting that challenge, I'm not openly trying to kill you, because that's not how you make a good story. You make a good story through roleplay and the encounters and how the party deals with them. I don't make a good story by just killing all of them. If it was, well, I would be far more feared. I also disagree with some of the magic items they put out because they're either very specialized and only good in certain situations, which, you know, makes sense. However, you have certain modules being run more than others just because they have XYZ magic item. Are you going to run, or are you going to play on the table that's, you know, giving out a +1 ring of protection, or are you going to go on the table that has a cloak of displacement? I've seen it happen. I've seen this power gaming thing happen. I've seen it destroy a table once, too. Because, unfortunately, in AL, because you can't really weed out the bad players, I wouldn't want to say bad players, but the more annoying players. The annoying players I find are power gamers, mostly just power gamers. Sometimes there's the annoying role player, usually goes a little too far. Well, I guess I'm playing a ship battle today. It just gives me more time to talk. Doesn't really take a lot of skill to play these. Where was I? Oh, damn, lost my train of thought.
Lead Admiral Ago to attack squadron. You're approaching a critical repair outpost for enemy forces in this region. Your objective is to capture and hold. Secure each of the outpost's defensive satellites and stay in range until our
yes, domination, of course. Yes, annoying players. It's very rare to find an annoying role player because most of the time you're playing Dungeons & Dragons. You're playing a character and you need the role play. As long as you're not disruptive and killing every townsfolk, you're fine. It's the power gamers I have a problem with. Alright, let's get into this. Haha. And by that I mean they are playing for the items, they are playing for like the best stats they can get. They are not playing to play a character. And it's really goddamn annoying when you have that guy that's just, look at me, I have this big-ass greatsword. Hey, I need that to do 46 more damage. I don't give a damn how much damage you're doing. As long as you're viable and not bringing the party down, don't fight over friggin' magic items. Just play your character. I'm more interested in how you talk to my evil bad guy. I'm more interested if you try and actually turn him away from evil. If you ever notice, most times the number one thing for people to do, and this applies to even RPG games, is you normally just kill the bad guy, don't you? You never really try and talk him out of it, not unless you're playing like a really lawful goody-goody two-shoes. Gotta get that interdiction drive out. Ah, this guy's just taking out all my shit, isn't he? Ah, well, I'm on the point, so it doesn't matter. Alright. There we go, he's dead. But, yeah, that... If you can see already, I'm a very story-driven guy. If you can give me a good story, I care more about that. I do have to have combat. My Out of the Abyss game will tell you how ruthless I am, and I think that'll be one of my first actual D&D videos, is talking about my Out of the Abyss campaign. Because I have had some of the best role-playing and some of the just most interesting moments out of it. Well, son of a bitch. Yeah, let's go with a scout. Do something that's like fast and quick. I actually think a lot of people might be interested in how I run that Out of the Abyss. Mostly because I've always heard, and I I don't find this entirely correct, that Out of the Abyss is a very, what's the best way to say it? It's a very, railroaded campaign for the first part of it. I can see where that comes from. I mean, you start off as drow prisoners. Being a drow prisoner is not how you want to start a campaign. I understand that. But it also gives the party the best chance to do a jailbreak. And seeing how characters get out of prison is very interesting. Alright. Sorry, kind of focusing on the game. Probably shouldn't be, to be honest. Oh wow, I actually survived. Nope, there we go. Dead. See, I don't play these games because I'm very good at them. If that wasn't entirely obvious. Oh, an Amber Alert. Okay, well that's not good. Ah, alright.
Defense satellite active.
So anyways, I hope to be talking more about that campaign. Hopefully I can do it without a headset, but I don't think I can afford a microphone very soon. Microphones are pretty expensive, at least from what I'm seeing. I mean, it costs $100 just for this this little webcam here. Also gotta get some software so I can just record that and not have the game on. So, well, I could try and figure something out. Probably go through some screens, like get some visual aids, that sort of thing. Let's see now.
That was my fault. Blasted programming. Hull integrity critical.
Oh, okay, that was dead. Yeah, I really need to stop playing this game. Good God, I'm no good at it. But as we were going back to, let me know what you would like to hear about more. Just getting into Adventures League, my my stories of Out of the Abyss, and my God, I think it might be the most entertaining thing I can talk about. Is my Out of the Abyss campaign. That or my Barovia. Well, Barovia slash what's the proper name for it? Well, Barovia is set in the demi-plane of Dread.
Enemy missile fire.
Satellite lost.
That was my fault. Blasted programming.
Okay.
Evasive action taken. My circuits were designed to operate in space.
Bah. But yeah, Barovia is actually set in a larger frame. Barovia is like a tiny continent or a tiny country set into a larger continent, known as the demi-plane of Dread. Ah, that's right. It's called Ravenloft. And Ravenloft is not a place you want to visit, ever. Like, it is the worst place to be in probably the entire multiverse besides Hell, but even people from Hell fear Ravenloft. But yeah, I'll go into my story about that campaign. Out of the Abyss is probably the one I'm more interested, or just starting into Adventures League and getting acquainted with your own store's Adventure League. 'Cause believe it or not, you probably have a game store next to you, unless you live in the middle of nowhere.
Taking the defense network. Retreat. We'll fight another day.
Ah, I lost. Ah, how unfortunate. Ah, well. I was considering this more of a vlog with some game in the background. My cat has come to see me. Anyway, I think I'll just do that for now. I think I've used enough of this time to ramble on. As much as I would like to do a instance today, I have some work in the morning. So for now, we'll go ahead and log out. So hopefully you found some entertainment out of this rant. I'm just going to leave it at a rant at this point rather than a actual gameplay video. If you are interested in any of the things I've talked about, let me know. I'll just pick something at one point and talk about that. And yeah. Hope you have an enjoyable evening and enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Revan's Apprentice, signing out.